Hi, I'm Deborah Young. Welcome to my presentation, Mobile Technology in Education. The main technology talked about in the presentation is the iPad technology. Mobile devices such as iPhones, iPads, as well as other phones and tablets are a major part of teachers' and students' lives. The ability to communicate anywhere and anytime is now taken for granted. It has become normal to have the ability to access information, take photos, record our thoughts on one device, and then share those processes with our friends, our colleagues, and the world. The challenge for educators and designers is one of understanding and exploring how best to use these resources to support learning. There are questions to answer about the use of the iPad for education. iPad, is it a hype or is it a fad? Is mobile technology useful in the classroom? Do we hand out iPads or do we ban them from our networks? What is the reason for the implementation of the iPad? Beneficial education tool or adopting new technology? How to test as a learning tool? Approach 1. Adopt aggressively. Innovation with little thought to effectiveness. It ignores the facts of failed new technology living up to hype. Effectiveness is related to use and application of technology. Approach 2. Unwelcome distraction. Introduction of new security and operational risk. Refusal of connectivity and support. Even local Starbucks and Barnes & Nobles gives connectivity. Institutions can appear outdated and unreliable without connectivity. Widens the gap between the technology devices and the technology users. Implement a testing approach with adopt, adapt, and experiment. Adopt is acknowledge students' expectations. Adapt is to train faculty and the students how to use the iPad. Experiment is to determine the educational usefulness of the device. Faculty support. Appoint an instructional designer. Clarify instructor learning outcomes. Distinguish the instructor styles such as lecturer, facilitator, or interactive group leaders. Choose apps to support existing instructions. Evaluate instructor lesson plan, and also search for apps to support instructional methods. Student feedback. Primary use is for reading, taking notes, short and brief tasks, and larger projects are still required to do on a laptop. Drawbacks are inconvenient features, difficult integration, development of self-monitoring skills required, distractions such as games, social networking, and app store. Scenario iPad assignment. The math instructor wants students to narrate their notes on the problem and explain how they are solving it. Ideally, if other students could both see the first student's math while it is in progress and hear the student's narration, simultaneously they could discuss the math problem actively and solve the problem in class. In effect, the students would be educated by talking through the problem and reflecting on it. They would be taking ownership of the learning. Solution to scenario iPad assignment. Having discussed the pedagogical challenge with the faculty, the developer searches for and evaluates possible apps. In this case, the developer selects an app which achieves two purposes at once. First, the student can handwrite notes using a stylus. Second, the app will record the student's voice. The student is able to handwrite the math and narrate his or her own thinking process out loud. The app saves both the handwritten notes and the narration as one recording. They can then be played back for other students as well as emailed to the instructor for grading. What to do? Apps, and more apps. Choose from over 100,000 apps available for educational assistance. Just pull your hair out. Advantages of iPad use. It has portability, lightweight, cut spending on educational materials, teacher and student correspondence, turn in homework assignments, and retain digital student records. Some disadvantage of iPad use is web browser compatibility, cost of the device and the apps, lack of the keyboard, inconvenient for multitasking, learning curve necessary for instructors and students, and cost involved in instructor training. Reduced need for educational objects, such as paper and notes, pens and pencils, books, calculators, calendars, and organizers. Also laptops in the computer classes as well. Understanding integration. Integration to me, and me first learning the iPad this semester, is the biggest barrier in using the iPad. PC, iPad, and iPhone sharing is the key. Google Drive or Dropbox are your very best friends. Improvements and why to use the iPad for education. The improvements that I think should be done is the micro SD in an iPad, and it would break the barrier of file integration, and you could access filing without the cloud if that's not the way you want to go. I promote the use of mobile technology for education. The iPad has an interesting array of choices for educational activities in the classroom. Conclusion. Sticking your head in the sand is not an option. Mobile technology is here to stay. With the proper use, iPads do have a purpose in the classroom. iPads are to be used for instructional tools, not for being the instructor. Students love progressive learning. It is very clear we need to teach with modern technology. It makes no sense to exclude from schools the powerful technologies that are a normal part of everyday life. iPad pilot programs are being started and educational results analyzed at educational institutions for enhanced educational learning in and out of the classroom. Educators are fulfilling the vision of education and mobile technology by blending the two for an outstanding educational benefit to student learning. It moves away from mobile learning being an isolated activity and explores mobile learning as a rich, conversational, collaborative, and educational experience, whether in the classroom or at home. We need to draw on existing theories of learning to help evaluate the relevant applications of mobile technology in education. Thank you. Works cited 1, works cited 2.